It's the most wonderful time of the year. No, not Christmas, you fool! It seems year by year, more people are acknowledging that Tim Burton had it right all along. It's spooky season. The leaves are changing, the air is getting chilly, and a certain coffee shop is buying up all of the stock of pumpkin spice flavoring. That's right, October is here, and I think we can agree that one day or weekend celebrating Hallows Eve isn't enough to enrich our souls with the spirit of the holidays. It's always nice to get in that spooky mood, not just in the decorations we put up and the hot beverages we slurp, but also in the anime we watch. So luckily for you, to get in the spirit, we've gathered what we think are some real treats. Some of the most noteworthy horror, thriller, and other dark anime picks to watch this Halloween season. P.S. You're welcome. I'm Zayden McHale, and welcome to Cosplay-FTW, your number one source for the latest lowdown on anime and manga news, updates, and analysis. Sit back, relax, and before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Oh, and don't worry, we won't spoil any of the stories of the anime here. So after watching this video, go ahead and start binging. To kickstart this list, we have Shinsekai Yori, otherwise known as From the New World. This anime is one that might have flown under your radar, as it did ours. And when we discovered this gem and watched it, it honestly was one of the better anime we've seen, especially in the supernatural, speculative, and horror-ish genres. Alright, fellow weebs, we hear you.
It's not technically a horror anime?
We know, but we feel it has enough creepy elements to add it to our list. Shinsekai Yori tells a tale of a group of kids growing up in the future where humans have gained psychic powers and continue to live life, not in cities, but in villages where technology seemingly doesn't exist, which in our opinion is a great take on depicting what the future could look like, juxtaposing the light-filled concrete metropolis is so typical of most sci-fi series. The story is told in 3 parts, following the protagonist Saki Watanabe throughout her childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, and how the utopic future she lives in is not exactly what it seems. The fear of being left alone, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of never being safe in the world. All the while uncovering the secrets that their society keeps from them. Makes for a gripping story, and not to mention a heartbreaking one at that. When you think of high school anime, normally you think of something along the lines of Horimiya or maybe even Iruma-kun. But this high school anime is far from that. Emphasis on very far. This anime is dark and can probably even be considered to be more on the disturbing side of the spectrum. The Flowers of Evil tells the story of Takao Kasuga, a bookworm who one day steals the popular girl Nanako Saki's gym uniform for reasons even he describes as purely by impulse. When he returns to school the next day, he realizes that the news has spread about the gym clothes, putting him in a precarious position where he can't afford to be caught. And that's where the enigmatic Sawa Nakamura comes in to blackmail him about the clothes, as she herself saw him take them. With nothing else to do, Takao is backed into a corner and has no other choice but to accept a contract with Nakamura, where he has to do anything she says, and when she says anything, she means it. Sawa Nakamura is quite possibly one of the most disturbing characters in an anime thus far. Each episode gives you this feeling of dread and an unnerving feeling in your chest. The creation of atmosphere is masterfully done in this anime, right down to the deeply disturbing ending theme. The Flowers of Evil shows the horror that can be found in an unassuming classroom. This anime doesn't boast vampires, demons, or zombies. Its horror lies in that very human element of fear that everyone has of ostracization, condemnation, and judgment, and the lengths someone will go to avoid these. This is simply one of the best dark, psychological, and suspense animes out there. There's no name more well known in the world of anime and manga horror than Junji Ito. We've been massive fans of his manga works for a while. The anime, though somewhat lackluster in animation, still manages to capture his art style and the same sense of dread that Ito is so renowned for. The anime has shown many of his works. Notably, Tomie, the strange story of a beautiful girl with a dark mystique who goes by the same name and is more than just a pretty face. Ito's pacing and storytelling are top-notch. Along with his unique art style, it all culminates together into this beautiful art piece that fully encapsulates horror anime at its finest. Another anime to look out for is Uzumaki, one of Junji Ito's most iconic stories. Apparently, the anime will make its debut in 2022, but you definitely don't have to wait to check out the manga. This one tells the story about a town that one day starts to exhibit strange phenomena, all seemingly caused by a spiral shape. And just like the spiral, the story spirals down even further and shows you the ways the inhabitants of the town become warped by the spiral themselves, and the fact that no matter what they do, they will never be able to escape what is happening. Parasite the Maxim, a sci-fi horror series, is on this list primarily because of the gore factor. It was the anime that really introduced us to a new type of horror genre that we've never seen done before in anime: body horror. Fun fact, Uzumaki's Suichi Saito was actually inspired by the protagonist of the Parasite series, Shinichi. This one follows the story of Shinichi Izumi, who loses his right hand, notably his left hand in the westernized manga, to an alien parasite that was trying to take over his brain, but luckily failed. As the story unfolds, we see the strange relationship that develops between the parasitic alien, Migi, and Shinichi, and the way that Shinichi tries to live a normal life despite having an alien for his right hand. Now that's what I call a out-of-this-world right-hand man. Please don't hate me. But what makes this anime a standout is not only Shinichi and Migi's goal to ensure their mutual survival and eradicate all the other hostile alien parasites to protect what little Shinichi has left, but also the insane fight scenes and the weird, grotesque body parts that they use to fight each other with. I love that this anime takes you on a ride through a range of emotions you might not expect initially. It is simply chef's kiss. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress might be one of our favorite zombie and historical era animes in the world. The art style, the story, the characters, all of these aspects come together so well and make a truly interesting story. There are a lot of people who gave this series a bad rating, but it's honestly one heck of an anime to watch if given a chance. Set in the Industrial Revolution in Japan, the world is being dominated by zombies, but not just any zombies, they're iron zombies, with an impenetrable skin and a thirst for blood and flesh alike. And how do humans live in such a world? They live protected within walls, and everyone travels by train. Almost, well, like its name, an iron fortress. The story follows the mechanic Ikoma and his partner, Mume, as they and a bunch of other residents try to escape their doom of being devoured by zombies. They take a train, and the story follows them as they travel from station to station, trying to reach the safe haven. The story depicts their struggles as they travel through zombie-infested lands to reach a place that may or may not even be safe. You have to watch to find out. And yes, there are clear parallels to Attack on Titan, but for us, it has more of a horror factor to it than AOT. Now this right here, this might be one of the most disturbing animes you'll ever see. It's highly rated for that very reason. Not only because of its themes, but also because of the story overall. This story runs the gamut in twisted themes from human experimentation, government conspiracy, and even familial abuse. Our story's lead is Lucy, a Declonius, a being that has telekinetic powers. After suffering amnesia, she tries to live a normal life, all the while being chased down by people who had locked her away to perform human experimentation on her. But don't let the cute visuals hide the fact that Lucy is still capable of doling out an extreme amount of carnage to those around her. This anime world is absolutely bonkers, and the war between the humans and the mythical Diclonius subspecies is one that might just blow you away, or tear you apart. Considering the Diclonius are a species that can control invisible arms, literally capable of ripping and slicing most things to shreds with ease. This is truly a landmine of an anime, with cute visuals and colors, but with a dark secret. But don't worry, the opening scene will set you straight. This one might just be the series to get you in the Halloween mood. Okay, I know. Chances are you've already seen this anime, but on the small, teeny, tiny chance you haven't, well, first off, which rock have you been living under, and how long have you been there? Secondly, what you need to know is that Tokyo Ghoul is the anime that basically redefined the genre of horror anime. This is still in somewhat the supernatural and meta-human category of anime, wherein we get to witness the transformation of someone into something other than human, in mind and body alike. And in this case, we see the literal descent into madness that our boy Ken Kaneki falls into. From battling against his urges to battling it out with different ghouls, this anime takes us on one hell of a ride. And the best part is, you don't have to wait for the next season to come out like we did. You can binge all the seasons of Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul RE all in one go. Admittedly, at least from my perspective, it takes a little bit for it to get going, but before long, it will have you hooked with the dark visuals as well as sensational world building and menacing antagonists. Between the fighting and aesthetic, go watch this now. Actually, thinking about it, maybe it's time for me to go give this a rewatch. If you've played the video game or even heard about it, you know what Corpse Party is all about. This 4-part OVA reimagines the game into an anime, with all the spooks and scares included and maybe even more. This one really isn't for the faint of heart, nor weak stomachs. You might have a hard time watching this one. This is about a group of friends who get transported to a different world, where anything and everything might kill you. And with the different horrors that this world has in store for them, they'll be lucky to even last a few hours. The goal is to escape this horrible reality that they got themselves into. Will they get out alive, or will this world be their final resting place? The only way to find out is to go ahead and watch it, or maybe play the game. That is, if you can stomach what's in store for you. Before we get on to the final two, why not take a break from all that horror stuff? The animes we've shown you were definitely something. So, think of puppies. A nice cup of iced coffee. Shh, it's alright. And while we're here, why not subscribe? Or hit the bell notification while you're at it to keep up to date with all of our uploads. What could it hurt? Might as well leave a like too. Awesome. Thanks. You're the best. Psst. Editor, insert applause. Ah, that's nice. Well, anyway, break time is over. Wait. No. Almost. Okay, now it's over. Are you ready? If not, that's too bad, because here is our top 2. First, we have Another. This anime is one of our absolute favorite anime series. Although it has some understandable criticisms, still this series handles mystery, ambiance, coloring, and suspense very beautifully, and balances its heavier aspects with some lighthearted comedy at times, to give you the brief feeling of security before all hell breaks loose again. Another revolves around a group of kids, actually a whole classroom of them, as they get picked off one by one by a local curse that leaves each one vulnerable. Nowhere is safe for them. They try to find out the cause of the curse and a way to break it, but can it be broken in time? Who lives and who dies? Watch it for yourself and you'll know. We wouldn't want to give spoilers to such a beauty of an anime. Before we get to number 1, a quick honorable mention here that didn't make the list is Dead Man Wonderland. While being an awesome start to a series that delighted in gore and sadism, considering the issues with development, it doesn't seem we will be getting any kind of payoff. I still love this anime, and it will definitely whet your appetite even if it won't fully satisfy your bloodlust. It has a great start, just know that when you're finished, you will be left tortured by what could have been. And also, while we're on the subject, the intro is one of the best in anime. Fight me. And now, for the last one, Paprika. Paprika isn't a horror per se, nor is it a show, but it is an anime and a thriller, so we feel it counts. Paprika is an anime movie, and a damn good one at that. If you're like us and have a penchant for uncanny imagery and psychological thrills, then this one is the one for you. This is all about an invention that is able to access one's dreams. On one hand, it is an amazing technology that can be used for good, but on the other hand, it can also be used in the most nefarious ways. Forced mental breakdowns and psychological warfare could ensue. Now, the story follows our protagonists, Chiba Atsuko and Kosaku Takita, as they try to track down the devious men who took their invention. This movie is stunning visually, and it's sometimes unclear where the dream world ends and reality begins. Just a heads up, it does cover some heavy themes as well. Still, we highly recommend this movie, and that's why it has taken the top spot. And that was the top 10 anime we recommend you watch this October to get you in the mood for Halloween. We had a really fun time making this list since we got to rewatch some of our favorites and find some new anime to watch too. If you have any anime you would like to recommend and any suspense thriller or horror anime that you've seen and loved, why not comment them down below? Go on, it's right down there. You're not scared, are you? We would love to hear what you think are the best animes to watch this Spooktober. As usual, please like and subscribe because it helps us out a lot. Thanks for watching. And don't forget...